Hello lovelies, how are you doing today? If you're new around here, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back. So today I'm going to take you through some tips and tricks for strength and mobility for those of you working towards our forearm stands, Pincha Mayurasana. So first off, I'd love if you are nice and warm by the time you come to this video. So hopefully you've already done some self-practice, you've taken a class, maybe you can check out some of my sun salutation videos on YouTube just to make sure you're nice and warm, the blood is flowing and you're ready to go. Always be mindful. This is a real challenging inversion. It took me about a year of practicing kind of every day consistently to really kind of find balance, strength and stability in this pose. So be kind to yourself, have fun, enjoy the creativity of working towards this pose, but never kind of push yourself into something that doesn't feel good. Try and kind of find the enjoyment. It's really all about the journey with these poses. You're never gonna find enlightenment when you nail that kind of forearm stand or whatever else it is you're working towards. It's all about this kind of constant dedication, this devotion to your practice and this sense of enjoyment, this fun. So you're going to need something you can use as a strap. So it may be a strap, it may be a dog belt, it may be a dressing gown, rope, belt, whatever you've got around. Maybe you can even use an old pair of leggings. I heard that's a good one. So make sure it's nice and wide and quite a kind of stable. You don't want it to be too stretchy, so not like a Pilates strap or anything. And then I would also suggest to have a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, a book is also totally cool, perfect, something nice and stable. So that's kind of it for that. Make sure you're nice and warm, come with an open heart, make sure you've got some support. I'm going to take you through some basic mobility first off for the shoulders. We're going to work into the shoulders, a little bit of the core work, some glutes, some hamstrings. There's loads going on in a forearm stand. And then I'm going to take you through some drills to start to build up a little bit more strength as well through the shoulders. And then we're going to have a little play. So this video, you might want to go through the whole video with me. You might want to kind of pick up some bits and bobs here and there, work towards it, incorporate it into your kind of daily or weekly practice. It's all good. Most important thing is to really take what you need from the practice, whatever that is for you. So let's start in a comfortable seat. You might be cross-legged, you might be sat onto your shins again. It's all good. We're going to find hold of this strap, whatever it is you're using, and have the arms out wide. And you want quite a bit of tension through the strap, so almost like you're pulling it away. The sit bones are nice and grounded. We're going to inhale, start to lift the arms, the strap up to the sky. Exhale, we roll it down the back. Ooh, that first one's always a killer. Hey, you might work out whether the strap needs to be a little bit wider or shorter. Inhale, we lift up, and exhale forward. Few more like that. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, roll it back, and we inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, roll it forward. Really think about keeping the arms straight, and as you inhale, lift up, try not to flare out too much through the ribs. Can you keep the torso nice and stable as you roll it back? Easier said than done, hey? Again, we inhale, lift up. Exhale forward, few more like this. I love this for the shoulders. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, roll it back. Inhale to lift. And exhale forward. Let's do one more. Inhale to lift. Exhale, roll it back and really connect to the breath here. We inhale to lift. Exhale, roll it forward. Keep the strap. We're going to dip down to one side. Start to lift the arms up, around and down. Lovely. Few more like that. So like a side stretch. Allow the back bend, side body stretch, and a forward fold. Last one like this. Move as slow or as fast as you need. Enjoy creating this space in the body. Let's switch the opposite way. Move with the breath. Lower down. We inhale, lift. Exhale, circle it round. Nice, last one. And this already may be giving you some information about how the shoulders are feeling today. So as always, work with that. Ooh, let's release the strap. Little shrug of the shoulders. Maybe some rolls one way and the other. Ooh, let's do our like chicken wings. The hands come to the shoulders. Draw circles this way. Love this one. And through the other. And see if you can stay connected to the breath. We're not really going to be working Ujjayi breath or any breath work in particular, but I will try and give you cues throughout, some little reminders. Okay, so we're going to start to release, come onto a tabletop. So knees and hips in line. And we're going to have the hands underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Start to move from the tailbone, drop in the stomach. We're going to inhale, gaze goes up. And then move from the tailbone, round the spine, go high onto the fingertips, gaze to the navel, engage through that core, Uddiyana Bandha. Lower the hands, start to lower the stomach. Inhale, gaze is up. As you exhale, round the spine, high to those fingertips, gaze to the navel. One more like that. Start to move the tailbone, drop the stomach. Inhale, gaze is up. Exhale, round, lift high onto the fingertips, gaze to navel. Hold it here. We're going to tuck the toes. Allow space for all 10 toes. We're going to slowly sit back to the heels, finding a toe squat. So maybe you want to stay here. That's totally cool. If you're with me, we walk the hands slowly closer in. Hands might come onto the knees. So making sure all 10 toes have got space onto the mat. Let's come back to those shoulders. So we're going to bring the arms out wide. And then the right arm is going to come underneath the left. So maybe once, so the backs of the hands touch. Maybe twice, so the heels of the hands touch. Our eagle wrap. We're going to inhale, start to lift the elbows up. And then exhale, push away. They don't really go anywhere, but should feel like a nice stretch. We've got 2 more. Inhale to lift. Exhale, push away. Lovely. Last one. Inhale to lift. Exhale, push away. Let's switch sides, bring the arms out wide. And then that left arm goes under the right again, once or twice. Eagle wrap, keep it going. Nice distraction from the toe squat as well, hey. Couple more like this. Move with that sensation through the toes, stick with it. Let's keep the toes. We're going to bring the arms up alongside the ears. So a lot of our forearm stand, if you think the elbows will be bent so the hands are at prayer, is about this mobility through the shoulders. So bring the hands forward so that this right angle. Feel this engagement through the core. And then think, when we start to lift up, when the arms go alongside the ears, do your ribs start to flare out? Do you feel this kind of natural back bend start to arrive here? Can you think about knitting everything in, so engaging through the midline? So it's this real balance between getting this mobility of the shoulders, so the arms being able to go alongside or slightly behind the ears, but whilst keeping the midline nice and active. Let's get out of this toe squat. The hands are going to come down. Untuck the toes, tap the feet behind, release any tension here. Stay on the shins. We're going to start to come up to a camel. So I did the toe squat for a reason. When we start to go upside down, a lot of times when we get that moment of kind of flight where we're like, oh, I'm up in the air, we completely forget about our legs, our feet. I really want you to think about that sensation through the feet, that spreading of the toes when you're upside down. So we can keep that strength through the legs, the glutes are active, everything kind of working in unison. The left hand's going to go alongside the body. As you inhale, start to reach the right arm over to the left side. Glutes are active, inner thighs are on. We're going to circle around and through. And then the left arm is going to inhale, go over to the right. Again, circle around and through. Keep those hips moving forward. Wake up through the glutes. Inhale, the right arm reaches away. And down, and then the left arm, inhale over to the right and round. Let's do one more each side. Inhale the right arm over to the left and down, and then the left arm goes over across to the right and down. Lovely. Let's start to come back onto the shins. Take a couple of breaths here, and you can always come back to either this kneeling place or a child's pose at any point as we're working through these different tutorials, these different kind of strength and mobility things working towards our forearm stand. We're going to start to, from here, come forward. So knees and hips stay in line here. We're going to work towards our puppy dog pose, our melting heart pose, Anahata Asana. So the arms start to walk forward. So really making sure the hips don't come with you. So we're not going to a child's pose here. Maybe the forehead starts to come to the earth. And again, you're going to start to get a lot of information here about how the shoulders are feeling. If this feels too much, maybe the arms go out a little bit wider, so you allow a little bit more space for the shoulders. Noticing the breath at the tip of the nose, every exhale. Can you think about this softening through the chest? If this is feeling good, maybe the hands start to come to prayer, and the prayer goes behind the back of the neck, so we can soften through the shoulders a little bit more. And if this is a pose that feels good for you, maybe the arms are out long and it's the chin and the chest starting to lower down towards the earth. And wherever you are, can you keep this feeling of connection through the midline? So this lifting up through the center rather than completely allowing the ribs to soften. So a little bit more of engagement through the midline. We're going to be here for a few more breaths. Inhales through the nose. Exhales out the nose. And ideally, especially if you're working with shoulder mobility, holding this pose for as long as feels good for you. It might be a more kind of 3 to 4 minutes, and it's a type of pose to try and incorporate into a daily practice. You'll really start to see this space through the shoulders. It's a real perfect warm-up for the shoulders, for our forearm stands, our Pincha Mayurasana. So feel free to pause the video, take your time. If you're with me, the forearms are going to come back to the earth. Let's start to snake the torso forward and through. So we're going to find a Sphinx pose, but make this active. So think about the forearms really pulling towards as you're lifting up from the chest, relaxing the shoulders here. Can you push the feet down to the earth? The knees are slightly lifted and the glutes are engaged. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, we're going to slowly roll down onto the chest. The fingertips come either side of the ribs. Keep the legs active. We're going to inhale, start to lift up through the spine. The head comes up last. And then as you exhale, roll it back down. Again, inhale, start to lift up. The head comes up last. Keep those glutes energized. Exhale, roll it down. Let's add on some shoulders. So we're going to inhale, start to lift up. Exhale, lower the right shoulder down. Inhale back through center. And exhale, lower the left. One more each side. Really nice, everyone. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower the right. Inhale back through center. And exhale, lower the left. Let's inhale, lift all the way back up. Exhale, we're going to roll it down. Hands by the ribs. Let's push back through a child's pose. Toes touch. Reach the arms out in front, the forehead to the earth. Take an inhale through the nose. Maybe an exhale out the mouth. And then when you're ready, start to come forward. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees up and back. Ardha Mukha, our first downward facing dog. Inviting in a little bit of movement here. So bending into one knee and the other. Feeling the heels start to travel down towards the mat. Can you keep the shoulders nice and strong? So spreading the fingertips nice and wide. This feeling of the armpits rolling in towards each other. Starting to find stillness here. Let's inhale, lift the right leg up and out behind, bend the knee, open the hip. Gaze goes under the left armpit. So keep both arms nice and strong as you draw these big slow circles with the right knee in one direction. And through the other. We're going to place the right foot down. Inhale, lift the left leg up and out behind. Bend the knee, open the hip. Again, gaze underneath the right armpit. Can you keep both shoulders nice and strong as you draw these circles with the left knee one way? And through the other. Let's place the left foot back to the earth. Move slow so the bandhas, these energetic locks, are active. We go from the hips. Inhale for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. We're coming forward to our high plank. Hold it there. Can you allow the shoulders to go even further forward? Take an inhale. We're going back to our downward dog. Again, slow as you can for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. We've got a couple more like that. Move from the hips. Inhale, wave it forward. High plank for 4, for 3. Nice, everyone. For 2, and 1. Hold it there. High plank. Push up in between the shoulders. Glutes are active. Take an inhale. Move from the hips. Exhale, up and back. Downward facing dog for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Last one. Move it slow. Come forward. High plank for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Nice. Hold for an inhale. We're going to stay for the exhale. Lovely. Inhale here. Using that transverse abdominis, the lower abs, we lift up and back for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Let's start to walk the hands all the way back to the feet, back of the mat. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back of the neck. The elbows go in, knees are soft. Again, take some rocks from side to side. So as I said, there's a lot going on in our forearm stand. So we want to make sure the hamstrings, the backs of the legs are nice and open. This allows us to have the mobility to walk the feet in a little bit closer, which makes it easier to go upside down. There's so much going on. Let's release the arms down heavy. Maybe again an inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Bend the knees, round the spine, slow and controlled. Start to come all the way up to stand here, coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Engage through the glutes. Uddiyana Bandha, core is active. We inhale, reach the arms, gaze up to the sky, Ardha Hastasana. As you exhale, fold it down, release, Uttanasana. Just some half Suryas. Connect to the back of the body, connect to the breath. We go inhale halfway. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, reaching the arms, gaze up to the sky, Ardha Hastasana. And exhale, fold it down, release, Uttanasana. Let's take one more. We go inhale halfway. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, reaching the arms, gaze up to the sky, Ardha Hastasana, glutes are active. As you exhale, fold it down, release, Uttanasana. Make sure the feet are hip width distance wide, root down through the heels. So keep this engagement through the backs of the legs as we start to slowly walk the hands back forward through our downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha. Take a full breath in and a long breath out. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg up and out behind, 3-leg dog. Slow and controlled, start to come back forward to that high plank. So again, pushing up in between the shoulders. Keep the shoulders nice and strong. Hold it in your plank. So only move the leg, don't move the hips. Take an inhale. As you exhale, right knee comes to the right. Upper arm, lovely. Inhale, we go back, our one-legged plank. Whoo, exhale, squeeze it in, knee to nose. Last one, we go inhale, up and out. Exhale to the left. So should be really starting to feel those shoulders, the core. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, knee to nose, the foot in between the hands, lower down the knee. Keep the toes tucked. So hands are going to frame the front foot. Maybe they're on fingertips. Maybe you're on blocks. Let's add a little bit of mobility. We start to straighten the right leg. Sit it back. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. The right foot goes down soft through the hips. Inhale. Exhale, sit it back. Last one. Right foot goes down soft through the hips. Inhale. Exhale, sit it back, your half split. So you might be up here. maybe your hands are going to be on blocks. This is definitely one of these kind of ego poses. All I care about is getting this sense of space through the hamstrings. So maybe you're sat back to the left toes. Wherever you are, take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold it down, pause and breathe here. And as I said, can you notice how the toes affect this pose? They can really energize through the whole leg. So actively flex the right foot towards a little bit more. Can you relax the shoulders down the back? So try not to kind of hunch and reach with the fingers. The length is coming from the crown of the head. Take one more inhale. Stay for the exhale. The right foot's going to start to go down. We're going to untuck the toes and bring the hands onto the front thighs. So that back knee might be on a cushion. You might roll up the mat, depending on what floor you're on, what knees you've got. Be kind to them. We've only got two. Let's start to come forward here. Lift up a little bit so the glutes are active. We're going to inhale, start to lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, circle around and down. Two more like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale, circle around. Last one, inhale. Exhale, circle around. Hands are going to make a fist behind the back. Really think about pulling that fist away. So warming up through the shoulders even more. The gaze might stay forward. The gaze might start to go up towards the sky. Can you think about puffing up from the chest? Activate through the glutes. Maybe think about reaching the fist down, down, down towards the back leg. Again, inhales through the nose. Exhales out the nose. Lovely, everyone. Inhale for 2. Exhale out for 2. Last breath for 3. Exhale out for 3. Keep this shape. Release the fist. The arms are going to circle up, back and round. We find our Kali Mudra, index fingers together, left thumb over right. Maybe slightly softer through the hips, but keep that engagement through the glutes. We're going to draw circles on the sky with the fingers. So going in one direction. Again, make this big like those circles we did with the strap and go through the other way. When you feel comfortable here, we're going to hold. So arms are alongside or behind the ears. Again, the gaze might be forward, or you might start to turn the gaze up, up, up towards the sky, keeping the engagement through the legs. Can you imagine you're being lifted up? Lean it back a little bit more. Lift up from the sternum, from the chest. Remember to breathe. Take one more inhale. Stay for the exhale. We're going to inhale, start to lift up. Hands are going to come inside of the right foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. We're in a lizard lunge. Take some rocks forward and back. And you may be thinking, this is a lot of warm up for a forearm stand. As I said, there's so much going on in the body. It's really important to have this kind of full body connection when you're on the ground, so you know when you're upside down what's going on. So we're going to hold it here. Start to send the right leg all the way back. Use that hip mobility. We're in a high plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to lower onto the right forearm and the left forearm plank. So again, hands might be in this kind of prayer position, fist flat to the earth. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to walk the feet forward. So we're coming up to a dolphin pose. Gaze stays forward. Stay for an inhale. Hold for the exhale. Again, let's inhale here. Exhale, slowly walk the feet back out to a forearm plank. Again, hold it here. Notice what's happening in the body. Can you push up in between the shoulders? This feeling of pushing down through the hands. Are the glutes active? Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to walk it up through to that dolphin. Again, nice. Hold for a breath. Relax the head if that feels good. Again, slowly we walk back through a forearm plank. We've got one more of these. If you're with me, stick with it. Take an inhale. Lovely. Stay for the exhale. Again, we inhale here. You've got this. Exhale, start to walk the feet in. We come back through our Dolphin Pose. Again, relax the head here so the neck is long. Push into the forearms. Feel this lifting sensation through the arms. Are you still breathing? Take a breath. And then slowly we walk the feet back out through that forearm plank. Whoo, take an inhale. Keep the arms as you exhale. Let's lower those hips down. Untuck the toes. Lovely. We're in a Sphinx pose again. Let's take a breath. Feel that strength through the shoulders. Relax it back. And then option to stay here. Glutes are active. If you're with me, we're going to take an inhale. Exhale, push into the feet. Lift up the hips. Gaze to the navel. Let's do 2 more like that. Lower down the hips. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we squeeze, lift, gaze to those feet. Last one, lower down the hips. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we lift up, gaze to the navel. Let's all lower down the hips. We meet in our Sphinx Pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're gonna roll it down, hands by the ribs, push back to kneeling or a child's pose. Maybe those arms are gonna be alongside the ears, so the knees are a little bit closer. Allow that release for the lower back. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, maybe flutter the lips. Let's take a couple more breaths here. So already starting to hopefully feel this sense of strength, of mobility in the body as we start to work up towards our inversion. Again, taking what you need here. Everything I say is as a guide. There's no need to do everything all at once. But if you've done the right side, hopefully you're going to come with me for the left. So we're going to bring the hands forward, tuck the toes. Again, lift the knees up and back. Ardha Mukha, downward facing dog. Take a full inhale. And a full exhale. Let's inhale, lift that left leg up and out behind, 3-leg dog. We move from the hips, so wave it forward to that 1-leg plank. Shoulders are forward, feel that strength. Take an inhale, just the leg move. Exhale, the left knee to the left upper arm. We go inhale through a 1-leg plank. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back, 1-leg plank. Whew. Exhale, left knee, right upper arm. Let's go inhale, 1-leg plank. Exhale, knee to nose, left foot down, lower down the knee, keep the toes tucked, so hands to blocks or the earth. Again, we start to straighten the left leg, sit it back, maybe a little, maybe a lot. Left foot goes down, soft through the hips, inhale. Exhale, sit it back. Last one, left foot down, soft through the hips, inhale. Exhale, sit it back, hold it in your variation of your half Hanumanasana, using any support you need. Wherever you are, take an inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold it in a little bit deeper. Breathe it here. Can you notice how those left toes really actively flexing towards helps to energize through that whole left leg? So we really need this sensation when we're upside down and there's a lot of other things to think about. If nothing else, remember to kind of spread those toes, energize the feet. Let's take one more breath here. I'm going to slowly bring it forward. The left foot goes flat, untuck the toes and bring the hands onto the front thigh. Take some rocks forward and back. Next time you go forward, see if you can lift up a little bit so that right glute is fired on. We're going to inhale, lift the arms forward. Exhale, circle around and down. 2 more like that. Inhale to lift. Exhale, circle it round. Lovely. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, circle it round. If you can remember, we're taking that opposite bind with the hands. Start to actively pull the fist away. Go soft through the hips. The gaze might start to go up towards the sky. Can you think about this lift from the chest, from the sternum? Inhales through the nose. Exhales out the nose. Inhale for 2. Exhale out for 2. Last breath for 3. Exhale out for 3. Releasing the fist, arms go up, back and round. Find that Kali Mudra. Again, maybe softer through the hips. Keep that activation through the glutes, through the legs. We draw these circles one way and through the other. Let's hold it in the back bend, breathe. So have this sensation of the arms going behind the ears, but you're allowing the ribs to flare in this one. You're allowing the back bend. The glutes are active, gaze might be forward, or it might start to turn up towards the sky. Again, hold and breathe. Can you imagine you're being lifted up through from that upper back as you reach back even further? Last breath. We're going to inhale, start to lift up. Hands come inside of the left foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, lizard lunge, take some rocks forward and back. And then use the hip mobility of the left leg to step it back through your high plank. Take an inhale, we're going back there, our forearm plank, left forearm lowers, and the right, hold it here. Again, notice what's happening. Are the glutes active? Is the core on? Are the shoulders strong and steady? Take an inhale. Exhale, we walk the feet in. Find your dolphin. Relax the head heavy. Inhales through the nose. Exhales out the nose. Inhale for 2. Lovely. Exhale out for 2. Last breath for 3. Exhale, walk it back out through that forearm plank. Whew, we got 2 more. Take an inhale. Stay for that exhale. Build that strength. We take an inhale. Again, exhale, relax the head. Start to walk the feet in. Perhaps the feet walk in slightly closer. Take a few breaths here. Can you really push into the forearms? This sense of the chest pushing back here. Again, there's a lot going on. If it feels too much, you can always walk the feet back a little bit further away. Last breath. Then let's start to walk the feet out. I've lost count, but we'll do another one, hey? Let's hold in that forearm plank. Arms on fire. Take an inhale. We stay for the exhale. Nice inhale here. You've got this. Exhale, walk the feet in. We find a dolphin. Again, pause and breathe here. So our dolphin pose is our kind of warm up pose towards our forearm stand. It can actually be a lot more challenging than a forearm stand once you've got the balance, because you've got all that weight back into the legs. But it is this perfect place of kind of balance between strength and mobility, where we want to be in these shoulders. Let's take one more breath. Slowly start to walk the feet out, and we're going to lower the hips down, untuck the toes. We're in our Sphinx Pose. Lovely. Keep this strength here. Glutes are active. Again, option to stay here. Take an inhale if you're with me. Exhale, we push into the feet. Lift the hips up. Gaze to the toes. Again, start to lower down the hips. Inhale, gaze is up. Exhale, lift the hips. Gaze to the toes. Last one, lower down the hips. Inhale, gaze is up. Exhale, lift, gaze to the toes. Nice, everyone. Lower down the hips. Inhale, gaze is up. Let's all lower it down. Again, hands by the ribs. Push back through a child's pose or kneeling. Maybe the arms are alongside the body, closing down the eyes if that feels good. Come back to that sense of steady breath in through the nose. Exhales out the nose. So hopefully, if you're like me, feeling really nice and warm and ready to go. Everything, I think we touched on everything. Shoulders, core, legs, hamstrings, hips. So see if we can put all that together whilst we're upside down, hey? So I'm going to take you through a couple of different drills to start to build a little bit more strength. And then we're going to have a little play with the forearm stand. The drills are going to be in our forearm stand. So different options with the arms while we catch our breath. Option 2, when the forearms are down, The traditional variation is the forearms are down to the earth and the hands are facing forward. This isn't that natural for the shoulders. I much prefer having the elbows and the shoulders in line. The hands might come together, so in this prayer, they might make a fist, they might be flat to the earth. Also, a block can be amazing. I love the block. It's so good for stability. So you have the block or the book, and it's your thumb and index finger that push into either side. And then hopefully you can see with my shoulders, as soon as I start to squeeze the block, everything starts to fire on. So it's a real kind of hack to get the muscles where you want them to be working whilst we build them up. Another good option, if you've got your strap, is to make a loop, and you want the loop to be as wide as your kind of shoulders. So you want it to be reasonably tight. The arms come through, and then the strap comes through to the kind of middle arm. So when your hands, your forearms are to the earth, you've got this strap to almost push against. So you can really start to, again, build the strength through the shoulders. So for all of these, maybe you're going to use the strap, maybe you're going to use the block, maybe it's a combination of both. Try different things out. Each time you practice your forearm, you'll soon begin to see kind of what's helpful and what's not. And then when it starts to become too helpful, see if you can start to take away some of the props as well. All right, let's start to come to our downward facing dog. Have your block, your brick, your book ready. If you're going to use that variation, have the strap around the arms if you're using that variation. So we're in a down dog. We're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, see if you can lower both forearms to the earth at the same time. Lovely. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to lift the arms up. Relax the head. Again, inhale here. Exhale, lower both forearms, same time, gaze goes forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, we lift up, relax the head. Let's do one more like that, inhale. Exhale, lower both forearms, same time, gaze goes forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, we lift up, relax the head. We're going to lower down the knees, release the shoulders. Take a moment. So that's number one drill. Playing with getting the shoulders down, that kind of sense of strength, of mobility to bring it forward and back. So this time, if you're using the block, again, it's that thumb and index finger on each side pushing into the block to use this strength. We'll start with the forearms down. Tuck the toes, lift the knees up and back. We're going to keep the gaze back towards the toes so we can keep the head nice and relaxed. Walking the feet in as far as feels good for you today. Keeping the gaze back, we go inhale high onto the tiptoes and exhale, lower the heels. Again, inhale high on the tiptoes. Exhale, lower the heels. We've got 3 more. Inhale to lift. Feel that weight going forward. And exhale, we lower. Last 2. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Nice. Last one. Inhale to lift. Hold it there for a breath. And then we exhale, lower. Lower the knees. Come back to that child's pose or kneeling. Take a couple of breaths. So all of these little tips at any point, if it feels like that's you for today, that's all cool. Maybe you're going to pause the video, take it to your Shavasana meditation anywhere else and come back another day. Maybe you want to kind of do a few sets. So I'm just taking you through one set. Maybe you want to take a pause, do each set kind of 3 times so you can really start to build up their strength. Totally up to you. So next one, forearms come down. We tuck the toes, lift the knees up and back. Gaze is back, walking the feet in as close as feels good. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale, chin comes to the fist or the block. And then we exhale, lift up, relax the head. Again, inhale the chin to the fist, the block. Exhale, lift up. Relax the head. We've got 3 more. You've got to inhale to lower it down. Exhale, we lift and relax. Nice. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Hold for a breath. Again, lower down the knees. Child's pose or kneeling. So they're my kind of 3 favorite little drills you can do in your dolphin. Also just holding your dolphin pose, allowing that sense of strength, holding the dolphin for kind of 5 breaths at a time. All of these are great ways to really start to feel that strength through the shoulders after all of that mobility we worked on at the start. So hopefully you're feeling ready to go upside down. This can be done against a wall. And there's a lot of kind of, some people say, oh, you should start at a wall, move away from a wall. I don't mind. You do what feels good for you. The main reason we did all of those warm-ups through the shoulders is so that if you fall out of it, hopefully you don't, I'm going to show you 2 different ways to fall out of it. And you want to make sure the shoulders are strong. And you need to know that you've got that flexibility through the arms. So that's really important to prevent injuries here. So if the forearms are down, we tuck the toes, lift the knees, we walk the legs in. I'm just going to show you how we fall. So you're going to lift up your leg, gaze is forward, and you lift up. You get here and you think, well, I'm not sure about this. You want to land the same way you came. So you're lifting up. Landing the way you came is always going to be the safest option. To have the legs bent as you're starting to play with coming up means that this foot, I don't know, I think it's my right foot. It doesn't matter. Whichever foot is nearest is going to be a little bit more nearer than if the legs are straight up in the air. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know which way to go. So hopefully you're going to have a leg that can bring you back down to earth this way. That isn't always the case, and that's all good. So if you're worried about falling forwards, make sure you're doing this near a wall or some kind of support. Sofas are great to kind of tap the toes onto and kick back out like a TikTok situation. If you know that you're open, I'm going to show you what happens. We fall into a forearm wheel, hopefully. So you tuck the toes, you walk the legs in, and you're like, this is it. I'm going upside down. You make it up here, and then you're like, oh no, I've overshot. I'm going to go the other way. The legs come together, and you fold to here. So this is a really open back bend here. You need to have the space through the shoulders here, but hopefully you're nice and warm and prepared for this. The glutes are active. Maybe the hands come to that lower back. You're going to start to come down. Your block might be there, but you've come down with control and you're feeling good. You might give it a shake out. It's all good. Make sure you're feeling good before you give it another go. All right, my loves. So let's have a play. Again, maybe you've got your block, maybe you've got your strap, hands at fist, hands flat. Main important thing, have those elbows in. So a lot of times when we don't have the kind of the mobility, the strength, the elbows start to wing out. And what happens if the elbows are out? We don't have the strength, so the chest is going to fall down when we're in a dolphin. So my dolphin with my elbows under the shoulders, I'm really strong here. This is a really stable base. If the elbows go out, I'm scared to do this. Elbows go out, my chest is falling. It feels horrible. I've not got any strength here. So really make sure that those elbows are underneath the shoulders. Have your favorite variation with the hands that you're working with today. Gaze goes forward. Let's very slowly start to walk the feet in. I would say walk the feet in a little bit closer than you want to, so you can really feel that strength. Gaze is forward. Hold it here and breathe. Think about lifting up through that leg. Hold for 1. Maybe the head is relaxed if that feels better. For 2. Last breath for 3. Exhale, place the left foot down. We're going to lift the right leg up. Again, maybe that gaze stays down. Maybe the gaze is going to start to go forward. And the reason I give the option, when we're in a dolphin splits, it's great to have the neck down so the neck is relaxed. When we're thinking about going upside down, we want the gaze to be forward. So you want to make sure you've got the mobility both ways through the neck. Let's take one more breath. Nice, bring the feet down. Lower it down. Take a breath. Kneeling or child's pose. So playing along, starting to bring one leg up into the air really helps us to feel into those hamstrings. Remember I said hamstrings are quite important, the backs of the legs, because the closer we can get the legs in, the less of a kind of kick up into the air. You should have more sense of a kind of float, the strength. Okay, let's have more of a play. Forearms are going to come down. Tuck the toes, start to lift the legs up. So this time, gaze is forward. Lift your favorite leg into the air. Keep the gaze forward so you can use the weight of the head. We're squeezing our block, our fists together. Maybe walk the feet in even closer. Nice and slow. Take some movements up and down. Going up. If you make it up, you want to squeeze one leg into the chest, bend the opposite leg out long. So we're in this kind of stag leg position. So here we've got the balance, as I said, if you want to fall out either way, but also starting to feel out where the chest, the shoulders need to be. Can you start to engage through the glutes, through the core a little bit more? Take one more breath. If you're up, bring it down. Again, taking a moment. So always being mindful, taking these moments to rest. As I said, there's a lot going on in this pose, so you don't want to kind of burn out through the shoulders. Always take your time. If you're with me, we're going to take the other side. So again, the forearms come down, tuck the toes, lift the knees, lifting the other leg into the air. And one leg is always going to feel easier than the other. That's all good, but we want to create this balance on both sides. So gaze is slightly forward. We start to take some little movements up and down. Can you energize through the toes of the lifted leg? If you take flight, again, bend the lifted leg into the air. Maybe you're bending the opposite leg. So this stag leg sensation, so you can really start to balance. Push into the forearms. Take a breath. We bring it back down to earth. Child's pose, kneeling. Allow the shoulders to soften. So this is a great place to start to work. As I said, if you've got a wall, you want to make sure that you're far away from the wall. You don't want to do this right up close to the wall. You want to think, if you think the end of my mat is going to be my wall, then I want to be here. I want to be a little bit further away. And the reason I say that is so that when you're lifting up, you lift up your leg, gaze is forward. And then you can think about this stag leg. So you want to think about this toe that I'm wriggling, kicking into the wall. So that's going to be your support. So you can really start to find the balance. And then eventually this leg might start to move away from the wall. And it can always go back to the wall, this imaginary wall. Hopefully this makes sense. Upside down. Lovely. Hold if you're up. When you're ready, we bring it back down. Take a rest. Nice. I'm just going to show you one more thing for when you're thinking about bringing the legs straight up. So as I said, the reason we started with the legs apart, it just means you've got a lower center of gravity, number one. So there's a lot less balance than when your legs are up in the air. But you've also got this sense of balance for any wobbles to kind of stabilize the body. When you start to think about bringing the legs straight up, you've got to really make sure that the shoulders stay in line with the ears. So you can't have this tipping forward, or you'll end up with this banana shape, which if you're naturally back bendy like me, is quite kind of common. So then we think about this pulling in through the core, the glutes being active. All right, my love. So again, forearms to the earth, your block, your fists, wherever else. Tuck the toes, walk the legs in, gaze stays forward, forward, forward. We lift up a leg, go slow, start to lift up. So you might start with the legs apart. You might be feeling good here. You might be wanting to start to play. So go slow, focus the gaze. We start to send the legs into the air. And then when we're here, think about those toes. Can you spread the toes wide? Are the glutes active? You're pushing into the shoulders. So everything should be nice and balanced. And then when you've had enough, you bring it down. Take a child's pose. Amazing work, everyone. As I said, forearm stand, it's a lot. It takes a long time. A lot of, when you see people in it, it can be like, oh, how do they do it? Honestly, I've got kind of grazes on my legs from falling out into tables and everything else. There's a lot of fear involved of going upside down. And there's a lot of strength, a lot of mobility. There's a lot going on. So hopefully this has kind of given you some little tips and tricks to help you along the way with the journey. And as I said, it's all about the journey rather than destination. There's no sense of enlightenment once you're kind of balanced on your forearms or any of these other kind of more playful poses. Can you stay kind of connected to the breath? Can you incorporate the whole 8-limb path of yoga into your physical practice, your asana? So thank you as always for taking the time to practice with me. The hands come to the prayer in the center of the forehead, saying Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It means peace, peace, peace.